name's Matt Luzader. I am the Office Managing Partner here in Chicago for Kelly Dry & Warren. I'm a payments attorney. I do everything from ACH origination agreements to government investigations when stuff goes sideways on it. And I've known Peter for a long time. I'm happy to have you guys here and be hosting this. Quantum's super exciting, and particularly in Chicago. There was the phrase used that it's a hub of intellectual leadership in Chicago for quantum computing. So with that, I'll turn it over to our illustrious speakers.
The bankers in the room will recognize that one of the things that banks have to do is liquidity management. And when you're dealing with payments, liquidity management has to do with, on a daily basis, I might have $1 billion coming in and $1 billion going out, and it has to happen in the right order, because I might only have $500 million in liquidity, so I have to make sure the ins and outs all map so that I can handle $1 billion worth of payments. And so that turns out to be a difficult modeling problem for classical computing. So there's an example where quantum computing can be applied to solve these problems much more quickly, okay? It can also cause challenges in payments. So anybody who does any work in card is familiar with PCI DSS. Anybody who does any work in the ACH payments recognizes that the Notch operating rules and operating guidelines have rules around encryption. The new FedNow service requires every message to be digitally signed with asymmetric key encryption. Asymmetric key encryption relies on, I'm going to drastically oversimplify this, relies on really complex prime numbers that are over 2,000 bits long. And it relies on the fact that it's really, really hard for somebody to guess the other key if all they have is one of the keys. Asymmetric key means one key encrypts, the other key decrypts, and vice versa. And so if I have one key, which I'm supposed to have, I can encrypt something, and then other people can decrypt it. This is really important in areas like cryptocurrency, because Bitcoin, as an example, in fact, every digital currency platform relies on digital signatures with asymmetric key cryptography as the thing that is your wallet. So anybody that holds digital currency, you hold your digital currency in a wallet, either directly or through a service provider. That's a public-private key pair, and you are protected because classical computing will take potentially millions of years given one key to guess the other key. And so there's two really popular asymmetric key algorithms called the RSA algorithm, the elliptic curve cryptography algorithm, and we consider them state-of-the-art in financial services. What happens if quantum computing can take elliptic key cryptography or RSA asymmetric key cryptography and from one key guess the other key in minutes? Yikes. That becomes a problem, okay? Now, relax, we're not there yet. It's a happy hour.
It is. I'm Rob Weiss. I'm a tech transactions lawyer at Barnes & Thornburg here in Chicago. And I'm going to talk, kind of switch gears a bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the legal issues, and I don't have time to get into the weeds, so I'm just going to keep it at a very high level, but some legal issues and regulatory issues to be mindful of as this quantum industry develops, because as Peter alluded to, it's developing quickly, and before you know it, we may have commercial applications if they don't exist already. And so just generally, what do I mean by the quantum industry? I think it encompasses a couple things. It encompasses quantum computing, but also quantum sensors, which I think are more advanced. And these are things like incredibly small devices that can measure small changes in physical properties, which have a lot of application in medical imaging and environmental monitoring, things like that. And then quantum communications, which it goes to what Peter was talking about, the risk of breaking encryption through quantum computing and how to protect against that. So kind of in thinking of the legal and regulatory landscape that might impact quantum, and I'm thinking this sort of applies to anyone in the quantum industry. International collaboration is really important in the quantum space. It's not really unique to quantum, but it has particular resonance in developing the quantum industry, because it's, when there's international collaboration, you really can advance universal knowledge, and there are some universal problems that quantum can really help address, like development of cancer drugs and medicines and healthcare and climate, mitigating climate change. And so there's a lot of value to having international collaboration in the quantum industry. And, the benefits of it is it kind of allows the pooling of talent and resources across like-minded countries. It allows standardization, because with any emerging technology like this, in order for the industry to grow, you really need to develop standards, and so different components of the whole system can interoperate along those standards. When there's international collaboration, it kind of creates markets in all sorts of different countries, which can really benefit the economic growth of all players in this industry. And there's some kind of cross-disciplinary fertilization of ideas. If different businesses in different countries are kind of interacting with each other,